Thank you, everybody, for coming to the College Football Betting with Aaron Torres YouTube channel. Before we get to the video that you came here for, if you could do me one quick favor, just click that subscribe button at the bottom of the screen. Really does help our channel grow, our audience grow. I appreciate it more than you know. Also, if you want to, click the little bell notification so you know anytime any of our previews go live. We appreciate your support. Now, here's the video that you came here for. Top 10 matchup. Listen, I am so fired up for this game. Same time, by the way, 3:30 Eastern on CBS. Indiana. Curt Cignetti's Indiana Hoosiers at Oregon. Oregon a 7.5-point favorite. The over-under set at 55. This one should be a real. I'm just so excited about this one. I can't even explain to you on this pod. All right, as far as this game is concerned, a couple things about this. First of all, Oregon is coming off a bye. Last time you played, you might have heard about it. They go to Penn State in the whiteout game, and they win that game in double overtime. By the way, no lie, one of the worst beats of my betting career. The over-under was 52. The two teams had combined for 20 points about midway through the fourth quarter. Remember, Oregon was up 17-3 in that game. And I do think that's an important point to mention right here, is that on top of the fact that we are just talking about a game in which Oregon won outright, Oregon really actually dominated that Penn State game for a good chunk of that game. Again, they were up 17-3 midway through the fourth quarter, excuse me. And so it was an even more impressive win probably in hindsight. Then on top of it, you blow the 17-3 lead and you still manage to win. And I think, listen, the story of that game coming out of it was Dante Moore. We talk about all the negatives of the transfer portal and players coming and going. Dante Moore is one of the great success stories. 14 touchdowns, 1 interception, 74% completion percentage. And where I give him credit, the self-awareness last year. He could have gone somewhere and started, but he said, Oregon is going to set me up for success. Oregon is a place that I can develop. I won't have to play and can sit behind Dylan Gabriel and learn the position. And now this kid is absolutely balling. Outside of him, the run game is awesome. A little bit of how well he played got lost in the fact that, the run game being so successful got lost in how well he played. 11th ranked rush offense in college football, averaging close to 250 yards per game. Oregon averaging over 6.5 yards per carry as well. So they're moving the ball really well on the ground. And then the defense is really good. Cignetti, I thought this week really talked about the size that they have. To quote my buddy Mike Luke, the Arizona writer, the girth that they have. Oh, yeah, that girth is for real on that Oregon run defense. 3 or 4 guys in the interior, 330-plus pounds. Just really, really hard to run the ball on them. And obviously, it doesn't really get much easier to pass the ball on them. Although, to be fair, I don't know if Drew Aller is really the guy that's going to expose your secondary. Really quickly on Indiana, let me say this about Indiana. I got to give credit where it's due. And I think not only do I have to give credit where it's due, I get the sense, tell me if I'm wrong, everybody, I really do feel like, to me, the narrative has shifted a little bit on Indiana. I think you go back to even last January, last December, and the story on Indiana was, they're lucky and they played nobody and they beat nobody and they don't belong in the college football playoff. And I think for them to go 11-1 last year, obviously 11-2 after the playoff with Notre Dame, and then to follow it up by not only starting 5-0, but destroying Illinois a few weeks ago, on top of the fact that they then go on the road and win at Iowa, I think there's kind of a newfound respect for Curt Cignetti in college football. I don't know if he'll ever leave Indiana, but I now see Florida fans saying if it continues to go sideways with Billy Napier, we want him. Arkansas fans are saying give him a call. Penn State fans are saying if someone takes James Franklin off our hands, we got to give that guy a call. So it just shows you the respect that people have. By the way, for Indiana fans watching, I think he's going to stay at Indiana. I'm just saying, I think the greatest sign of how successful the program is how badly other people want your coach. And what's so incredible about this Indiana team, and I remember this last year too, it is their ability to basically be good in every phase of the game. I mean, it's absolutely incredible. We talked about that Oklahoma defense a minute ago, but the Indiana defense, 5th nationally in total defense. In terms of pass defense, 7th nationally. In terms of rush defense, a little bit skewed, but top 20 in the country in that category. And then, oh, by the way, the number 3 scoring defense, giving up less than 10 points per game. Offensively, top 10 rush offense. And here's the crazy part. The quarterback play, remember, Curtis Rourke got drafted by the San Francisco 49ers. The quarterback play is actually better this year. They just haven't put much on Fernando Mendoza's plate. Fernando Mendoza, by the way, is a guy that if you really dig, like the NFL draft people that actually know what they're talking about, not the people that had Garrett Nussmeier going number 1 overall, but the people that actually follow this stuff, people seem to think that Mendoza really has that NFL kind of upside, 6'5", 225 pounds, 1,200 yards passing, 16 touchdowns, 1 interception this season. And so if they were to win this game, I think we probably start talking about Fernando Mendoza, as potentially QB1 in the 2026 NFL draft. I know that's a ways away, but I'm just saying that the people that know the draft have been on this guy, and this could be a national breakout game for him. As far as the pick for Indiana, Oregon, I always try to take a side in these big games. I'll be honest. I looked at this game a lot. I can't find a side, and this is a total stay away to me, okay? Because here's the bottom line, is that, one, with Indiana, I've been a big advocate, a big supporter of Indiana. I bring it up because even Curt Cignetti said, they asked him this week, they said, is there anything you can take away from losing to Ohio State and losing to Penn State last year? And what he said was, actually not really. He said, we were just outclassed at pretty much every position, every spot on the field. And so I bring it up. They've certainly upgraded. The O-line is better. I think the quarterback is better. The receiving core is back. But at the end of the day, Oregon does have just better players than Indiana. And so could I see Oregon winning this game 27-14? I could. Conversely, I think Indiana is really good. And Oregon, listen, they won on the road a few weeks ago. The Penn State loss is maybe diminished. I don't know. I'm not trying to diminish what Oregon did at Penn State, okay? I don't want to do that. I want to be careful even insinuating that I wasn't impressed by what they did. But could you see a scenario where Oregon wins this game, say 27-21, and all of a sudden Indiana gets the cover? I could. That also kind of puts the over-under in peril. I would lean under, but I mean, Oregon hits a couple big plays. DeCorian Moore goes crazy, whatever. They win 34-24. All of a sudden that's an over. It's an under. It's whatever. And so I just bring it up because I know it's a CFB betting show, but as the old saying goes, sometimes the best bets are the ones that you don't make at all. I could go in a lot of different directions on this game. To me, it's just a stay away. I'm excited to watch. I feel comfortable saying Oregon wins. The 7.5, especially with the hook with the 7.5 as opposed to 7, makes me nervous. Stay away to me. I'm just going to sit back and enjoy this one.